2023. He remains out with sciatica, but the Lakers, they're in action tonight. And for more, we're joined by our senior writer, Dave McMenamin. Dave, before we get to tonight's game, 22 years ago, when LeBron was debuting, you were where?
I was at Syracuse University. I was a junior, and I was doing whatever I could to scramble to get Denver Nuggets games on my laptop or in the computer lab, because obviously Carmelo just went from Syracuse to the NBA as well that year.
I think you were toasting with your brothers here. You were studying abroad at Syracuse, as we're showing our viewers right now. Just a little toast there with Jeff and Brian. So that was Dave 22 years ago. I will not show you myself. But beyond LeBron, Dave, the Lakers, they have a whole bunch of injuries here, especially a guard. We're looking at Luka. We have Gabe Vincent, Marcus Smart, all out tonight. So how is JJ preparing Austin Reeves to put this team on his back once again?
Well, Malika, I don't think JJ necessarily saw this moment coming so early with no Luka Doncic, because he's out with the leg issue and the hand issue, and LeBron out with sciatica. But he was trying to build Austin Reeves up this summer to get him more confident. He basically said that you're out of excuses. You're no longer the happy-go-lucky, undrafted young guy in this league. You've become one of our main guys. And with that, you have as much responsibility and opportunity on this team as LeBron and Luka do. And look at it. I mean, we're talking about what I was doing back in 2003. What Austin Reeves was doing back in 2012 was living on a farm in Arkansas. Well, tonight he can join Kobe Bryant as the last Laker to have 3 straight games of 40-plus points. Kobe did that in 2012. I mean, so he's doing historic stuff, and really it's about trying to get as many wins as they can right now, like they did in Sacramento, while those guys are out.
Yeah, and if he is able to do that, join the likes of Kobe Bryant, I'm so looking forward to that post-game interview, because the humility and the sweetness that he brings to those moments, it's been really awesome to watch. Dave, thank you so very much. The Lakers will be doing this against a Timberwolves squad that does not have Anthony Edwards. The Celtics, though, before then host the Cavaliers at 7 o'clock, and then you get that Minnesota Lakers game. Ernie, Kenny, Charles, and Shaq, they're back. They tip off our coverage. It's at 6 Eastern. The real question, though, is which of these teams will make Brian Windhorst Tower of Power? That sounds like a job for Wendy's Tower of Power.
Oh, that's interesting. I'm palming the ball. Number 5, 4, 3, 2. Number 1.
I say it in a voice. Tower of Power.
Tower of Power. Starring Brian Windhorst.
Well, Malika, I was working that night in Sacramento while Dave was drinking, so just let that be noted. All right, number 5, we're going to start with the undefeated San Antonio Spurs. Sneaky big game tomorrow night, Heat at Spurs. That could be real big. Obviously, Victor Wembanyama is playing great. Number 4, Cleveland Cavaliers. I'm going faster than you can even run the highlights. Cleveland Cavaliers, Donovan Mitchell averaging over 30 points a game early going with Darius Garland out. They're going to need a little bit more offensive balance, but defensively they've turned it up. They're off to a 3-1 start. Number 3, Golden State. Impressive victory last night. The fewest points they've given up in almost a decade. 79 points to the Clippers. Great defense from Jonathan Kuminga in the early going. Number 2, and I know this is where it's going to get surprising, the Denver Nuggets. I know you may say, why are there not other teams that are undefeated up here? Because Jamal Murray and Aaron Gordon look so good. And number 1, it's going to take a lot to unseat the Thunder. And I certainly can't when they're off to a 5-0 start.
That was probably the fastest windy tower of power that we have ever seen. Wow. Let's see how Brian's list compares to our panel of experts. The Week 1 power rankings. This is according to ESPN.com. Brian, they're with you at the top. Then things, similar teams, except for you have the Spurs and they have the Knicks.
Did Perk put this list together? The Knicks are 2-2.
No, I didn't, Wendy. I'm actually on your side. I think I will replace
Thank you, sir.
the Nuggets and put them at number 5. I will put the Spurs at number 2.
I'm surprised there's no Philly in there.
Philly may be honorable mention, knocking on the door. Hey, with Giannis, the king of Milwaukee, who took on the New York Knicks last night. Remember, there's been a lot of conversation about New York and Giannis Antetokounmpo. So early on, the play that had people talking, the Euro step that started in Asia, Giannis off glass. Shout out Rich Eisen for that one. Was that a travel?
Refs didn't call it.
They didn't call it, so it wasn't a travel.
All right, well, New York, they scored 71 in the first half, 45 in the second quarter. Their second most in any quarter to start this last season. Third quarter, though, this is what Giannis does.
Excuse me, OG. Get out the way, little guy.
I don't even think he said excuse me on that one. And this was just a theme all night long. A block there going the other way.
Look at those first 3 steps. Boots to the wood.
Gary,
come here. Snatching the screws out the rim.
Let him know.
And look what he says after. He says, "This is my city."
He lying?
But gentlemen, another big piece for the Bucks was Ryan Holland. So let's get to know Ryan a little bit. He played 2 seasons at Toledo as an all-league guard. He was drafted by the Hawks in 2022, traded to Golden State, the Warriors dealt him to the Wizards, and after being waived by Washington, he signed a 2-year, 2-way contract with the Bucks, which brings us to this corner 3
He's a
last
journeyman.
night.
Gotta love it.
He was huge for them.
All you need is an opportunity, and he was outside of Giannis Antetokounmpo. Yes, he was scoring points. Before us being a playmaker and primary ball handler, he picked up some slack that was needed for the club.
Career night for him, 25 points, 4 steals. Not a career night for Karl Anthony Towns. He finished with just 8 points on 2 of 12 shooting, his worst field goal percentage in a game in his career when he took at least 10 shots here. So to the fourth quarter we go.
Kuz.
This was still a game here, Danny.
Yes, I give a lot of credit to Kuz guard and Karl Anthony Towns, making him frustrated. But look at Giannis.
Sliding those puppies.
Sliding his puppy, stay in front of Jalen Brunson. Easy deuce.
Brunson did all he could. He finished with 36 in this game. 3 minutes to play. The Bucks up 4. Giannis hitting a little Dirk fadeaway there.
The bad work.
And then
Bad
under
work.
a minute left. Milwaukee up 8 here. The finishing touches.
Cat,
Giannis.
you know you cannot pick him up at the half-court line. You're picking him way too high.
And OG, you know you can't challenge him at the basket. You
Giannis
losing your
finished
damn mind.
37 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists, and the Bucks got the victory here. He scored 32 of those 37 in the paint. You can see it here. He's now gone for 30 points on 60% shooting in all 4 games this season, the longest streak to start a year in NBA history. Here he was after the game.
There was going back to the ESPN report from earlier this month, part of it was that if you were traded, you'd prefer to go to the Knicks.
Who said that?
It was in ESPN reported that. Shams.
I don't read that.
I was wondering if that is true, and if it is or it's not. Okay.
I don't remember that. Right now I'm here representing my team, and that's it. We beat the Knicks, So doesn't really matter. What matters right now, we have a game 2 days against Golden State. Try to stay locked in and get 2 in a row. But I didn't read that article. Try to stay away from all that rumors and I don't know how you call it, speculations and trade and all this. It doesn't concern me one bit. I try to involve myself and try to help my team win games.
Well, he did that last night. They won the game then. Perk, what do you make of those comments?
Good toss.
No, I'm saying, why you just threw that paper at Malika? I'm asking, why you just this is typical Giannis. Throwing stones and hiding his hand, right? This is a history.
I think he's being facetious.
No, but I'm saying, but this is what he does, right? He'll tell the world, I didn't know nothing about Damian Lillard and what was going to happen with him. I didn't know Drew Holiday. Like, we know you know. Okay, cool. But you just came off a great win. Started the season, a signature win at that. The most dominant player in the NBA. It's the 7 assists, right? It's the 7 assists for me. Him leading the charge, being that point forward. Malika, you pointed this out before we came on the show. The spacing is working.
And it's the same sort of system that we saw Mike Budenholzer try to put in place. When you got 4 guys hitting shots, clearing the paint for Giannis, and he can get downhill, that tends to be a recipe for success.
I'm more impressed with his defense, and I think that was where they were lacking, especially against Indiana last year. There was a time where he was guarding Tyrese Halliburton, letting him get to his right hand, but him picking up the slack, blocking shots, being active, running the floor, that's what impressed me most about Giannis and taking on that lead. So I think they're in a good spot with Milwaukee. He was halfway out the door, but now after getting that signature win, I think he's more comfortable.
They're going to win regular season games. They're going to be in the top six seed in the Eastern Conference. It's just in the postseason, you're going to need more out of Miles Turner, right? Like,
we're 3 games in, and I think there is a big difference between who's the top 1, 2, 3 in the Eastern Conference and then who ends up 4, 5, 6. But we know the Bucks go as Giannis goes.
Right, but I got something I got to get off my chest.
Okay.
All right. Karl Anthony Towns. Hey, man, when is it going to stop? Seriously. I'm expecting better from you. I'm expecting better from you at this time right now. Like, This is what I'm seeing right now. You got a coaching change, right? Obviously, you didn't want Tibbs because you didn't want Tibbs in Minnesota. So they bring in Mike Brown. You're still picking up those dumb, silly fouls, right? Mike Brown said it, that he's been talking to you about this, something that you should be trying to work to get better at. Those fouls come from a lack of effort and not wanting to move those puppies. I thought you could have came in camp into the season in better shape, but you didn't. You know what I mean? That's a problem. We're talking about with the East being wide open, the Knicks, they added to their bench. They're pretty much everyone's favorite to represent the Eastern Conference.
Should be.
He has to be better.
Yeah, I give a lot of credit to Kuz. He did a great defensive job, but Cat should not allow Kuz to stop him and frustrate him in that way. But let's roll. Let's see. We got some tape to roll, right?
My bad.
We do. I was going to say when you.
My fault, Dad.
Oh, good. I'm trying to get some breakdowns.
All right, we're getting some breakdowns, and let's go back to Giannis then.
Giannis on the offensive end, he's getting his shooters in the right spot, getting in the position that you talked about Anthony Edwards, getting in a position where they can't double or harder to double. A.J. Green shooting 59% from three. Mikal Bridges a little bit nervous of leaving him, keeping him engaged. Giannis gives that ball fake. Now he's got Josh Hart, who's a pretty good defender one-on-one, but he's at the free throw line. So all he needs is one move to get to the rim and be at the rim and finish with a layup or a dunk. Same scenario here. Trying to get the switch. I'm sorry if I can't pronounce Huckapertorti last name, but he's got him on a one-on-one at the ISO spot. Usually people get the Giannis wall, and on that spin back you could double. But you got Ryan Rollins in that corner right there, who's 4 for 4 from three. Jalen Brunson's a little reluctant to leave him, and Giannis is getting a north-south spin move, which is hard to double. The young kid has got to do a better job and go east-west, but when you get that mismatch and you got your shooters in the right position, it allows you to double Wemby with 50 dunks. This looks crazy. Wemby's got 25, SGA, 25 layups and dunks this season. Giannis has doubled them in 50 at the rim.
That's called grown man basketball, right, Perk? And then when you're talking about Karl Anthony Towns, when you're seeing that on the other side, it should make you kind of want to raise your game, right? Coming up here on NBA Today, let's the draft sound to respond. Sound good? All right, let's start with the Thunder because they're 5-0, and this stat is incredible. They've already played 35 clutch minutes this season. That's the most in the NBA. And last year, when they were blowing out teams, they played just 66 clutch minutes the entire season. Perk, what's this tell you?
Tell us that we might see a team repeat for once. They are deeper than the Pacific Ocean, led by SGA, who's the best player in the league. And when you have guys that are out like Alex Caruso and Jalen Williams, and guys like Aaron Wiggins come in, stepping up, A.J. Mitchell off the bench, he's been fantastic. And Chet Holmgren has been looking like a guy that wants to get into the All-Star game.
I think I'm going to say that was under 24 seconds. I lost the clock. They put up 144 points in a win over the Hornets. They have the top scoring offense in the NBA through 4 games, averaging over 131 a game. So, Brian, what's the biggest difference in Miami?
They have changed their system, Malika. Eric Spoelstra has always been innovative, always been willing to change. They are playing higher tempo, but they are playing more read and react. They've gone away from the pick and roll and gone more to read and react, more of a flow system. So they're scoring a bunch of points without Tyler Hero, who's their #1 scorer. It's totally unlocked Jaime Jaquez, who had a rough sophomore year, #1 in plus-minus in the NBA through 4 games.
We're going to say Brian grabbed an offensive board there and was able to get the quick putback. LaMelo Ball has been cooking this season. Last night was a little interesting, though, all right? He accidentally kicked a ball into Davion Mitchell's face, and then later, when he was called for a foul, he flipped off the ref. Danny, your early take on Melo's season here.
He's been balling as usual. Hopefully he stays healthy, but at some point, he's got to be the vet. He's got to be the professional. This is the year. This is the guy that's won Rookie of the Year over over Anthony Edwards, excuse me. And, Anthony Edwards was playing winning, meaningful basketball. At some point, he's got to get Charlotte to playing some winning basketball and be the vet, be the professional, lead guys like Brandon Miller, and not play like pickup at the park. But I said he's been absolutely balling. Hopefully stays healthy and continues to go on a tear, but he's got to be more professional.
Well, look at those slow boy from Beaumont, Texas, beating the clock.
All right, we got a Philly special
I don't
here.
think they had a shot clock for you.
Sixers on a back-to-back. They're facing the Wizards. Joel Embiid rested Monday, so he could come back on the court Tuesday with Tyrese Maxey here. And this is how this one went. We're going to pick it up early in the second quarter. The Sixers down. Joel Embiid gets it outside, cans the triple.
Look, this is why he's one of the most skilled bigs to ever play. Yes, we all know he doesn't have his lift, but he still has that touch, that mid-range, that nice, smooth jumper.
All right, let's go to the fourth quarter here. A little over 5 minutes left. The Wizards up double digits. Alex Sarr had himself a game.
Yeah, 30 and 10. I think the youngest player to do so in the Washington Wizards uniform. But he was going right at Joel. I love the intensity. I love how he approached the game. And it wasn't just a Dembona, but he was attacking Joel Embiid just like the same way early in the game.
History is not on the Sixers side when they're trailing by 13 or more in the last 5 minutes of a game. But for all those games, they didn't necessarily have Tyrese Maxey.
Can I have this dance? And look at him being the true head of the snake, getting his and making guys around him better. And look, Joel Embiid knows that. He know who the franchise belongs to.
Joel Embiid flying into overtime here. Under a minute to go. The Sixers down. Maxey drives, finishes for the slam.
Big at his mercy. You cannot pick him up that high. You know, he's way too fast.
Maxey, floater that's off, but a Dembona.
Yeah.
Bona puts the Sixers up 1. And
there he is again.
CJ McCollum's layups rejected by Bona. Maxey has 39 points, 10 assists, and the Sixers go on to win. They're 4-0. He's taken it to the max, so let's go in the bonus. Maxey is the third player in the last 50 years with 150 or more points in his first 4 games of a season. He's joining Russell Westbrook and Michael Jordan, who did it 3 times. And Maxey is also the first player to lead all players on both teams outright in points and assists in each of his first 4 games of a season in NBA history. And take a look at this. Entering the season, Cooper Flagg had the shortest odds to win Rookie of the Year in the last 20 years, the shortest odds perk. Just over 1 week into the season, it's early, but the odds have flipped. VJ Edgecombe is now the slight favorite here over Flagg. So VJ, Maxey, they aren't the only ones lighting it up. Scoring, it's been off the charts this year. Last season, only 2 players averaged over 30 points a game for the season. So far this year, we have 11. NBA history, no season has had more than 6 players when you look at the entire NBA history averaging more at players averaging 30, excuse me. So Danny, Perk.
Good picture. I don't know where you guys got that from, but that's a good one.
Well, I want to know who you give the green light to. And since it's such a good picture, naturally we're going to start with Perk in this segment. Perk, who are you looking at here as players who you're giving the green light to?
Well, it was a dark cloud over this organization the start of the season. And damn it, this young man, Tyrese Maxey, brought the sunlight and he brought the joy to the start of this season for this organization, averaging 37 points, 8.5 assists right now, and got life back in Philadelphia. This franchise belongs to him, right? I believe he's the fastest guard with the ball in the NBA, and right now he's looking like he's ready to drive this vehicle.
All right, so Tyrese Maxey gets the first slot. How about you? We're adding to the Mount Rushmore.
I know they're in a concerning space right now because they have so many bodies out. But this kid is playing unbelievable. With Luka and LeBron out, I have to give some love to Austin Reeves. We're going to put him up there. I don't know what his numbers are with LeBron and Luka out, but I think it's north of 40. And he had a 50 ball the other night against Sacramento. But the fact that he's elevated his game to get to the free throw line, I think he's number 2 behind SGA and getting to the free throw line and getting those attempts and making free throws, getting guys to foul him. Obviously, he can shoot from 3 well, get to the rim, making DeAndre Ayton a factor for them. But him scoring at that high level is the only way they're going to stay in games. But I can see him continue to average 40 in the next couple games.
All right, Perk, who are we putting in here?
The Finals MVP of last year. Listen, this man played 8.5 months of elite high-level basketball last year, and he hit the ground running. He hasn't missed a game. On top of that, he's averaging 34 points. He's missing his Robin, and he's still getting it done. You're going to get everybody's best shot every single night, but guess what? He's finding a way to keep his team afloat.
And
I got
finally,
the unicorn, the alien, Victor Wembanyama. I don't know why we're going to call him Wemby for now. He's added some muscle, looking like Giannis with a jumper out there, getting a step back going, gets the free throw line, and blocking 5 shots a game. He's been unbelievable on both ends of the floor. You got to give this guy a lot of credit, not only defending, but scoring 40 points a game against some of the best backcourt defenses we've seen in Dallas.
Scoring has been off the charts. It's been fun.
Not like those vintage Warriors teams who champion those strength in numbers mentality.
Let's see how they fared against a tough Clippers squad last night. We're going to pick this one up in the first quarter. The game tied at 7. This is what Curry does, Perk. He gets to his spot and knocks down Curry.
Great screen by Draymond. Then after that, if you're not getting up on that switch, you dead bird, tall grass.
Draymond finds Steph again inside for the tough layup.
He's been in the paint a lot this year, too.
Doing his
Mixing it
damage.
up.
Chris Paul.
That weight room.
Okay, breakaway, Chris. See what you got. Chris. No, we gotta give a lot of credit to Pajemski on that one, though.
Doing it on both ends there.
A little bit of jelly.
Finishes the reverse. To the third quarter we go here. Yeah, those year 22 legs ain't quite the same. Third quarter, the Warriors, this has been their quarter historically, Perk. We're going a huge run with Jimmy Butler.
I mean, look how they're sprinting, right? They're getting stops and getting out in the open floor. Well conditioned. Look at Steph.
Turn on the Jets. Come on, CP.
He's been living in that paint this year.
Going coast to coast for the layup. And then a couple possessions later, Jimmy Butler, he's been studying his Splash Brothers. He's been knocking down the three. The Warriors outscored the Clippers 32-14 in the third quarter. Again, this is where they've historically done their damage. And then jumping to the fourth, the Warriors up by 20 here. We just had to show you this deep three from Steph. They go on to win 98-79. Here's what Jimmy Butler had to say about the Warriors' depth. Sensing a little bit of a theme here, especially on the defensive end last night. The Warriors allowed the fewest points since December 2016 when they allowed just 74 to the Jazz. So, Perk, Danny, what are you seeing from Golden State?
I'm going to start with the defense, man. We got to give a lot of credit to Steph Curry and company because they're not only showing the crowd, but Steph has stepped it up a notch. Let's see if we can roll the tape. He knows for 16, 17 years, James Harden and all teams are going to try to ISO him. He ain't having it. He's studied this move before, James. You know what's going on. Let me get that, start the break, out and running. Even if James gets by him, he shows the crowd. Golden State lacks size in the paint. They lack rim protector. They know that, but they've been great at swarming the ball, doubling on the post, letting Zoo not make it, get comfortable down there. They rotate, they give it back to Zoo, making him have to react fast and make a quick move, which is not something he's comfortable doing. Now he's falling off balance. You get a three-point contested shot by Derrick Jones Jr., and they finish the defense, which more importantly is rebounding, because that's where they struggled last year against Houston. They got to rebound the ball.
And look, they're my sleeper to win it all, and they're talking about winning championships. Back when they were winning championships a few years ago, their quarter was the third quarter. Yeah. This season, they're plus 50. Best plus minus by any team in any quarter this season. But now, Danny touched on the defensive side of things. Usually that's my side. But I want to touch on this offense. Look at this ball movement. Look at the cutting. Look at the screening. Look at the drive, the kick out, relocation by Pajemski for the wide open three, catching the trust, planting his feet, knocking down the tray ball. Here's one of my favorite right here. Because look at all this space. Stop it. Freeze it right there. Look at all the action on the weak side. This is action to keep the defense occupied, then all of a sudden, daddy ball right to the middle, where Jimmy Butler is one of the best post-up players or guards in the game.
It's been awesome.
Today.
In case you missed it, even with 37 points on the night, one highlight everyone's talking about is Giannis earning some frequent flyer miles on the court last night. The Greek Freak, he took 5 steps on this play. Somehow, the whistle did not.
A couple of grab, dribble, gather steps.
Mike Tirico was on the call, and he said it was considered legal in what they call the gather. Do you agree, Brian?
It was not.
Brian is our most frequent flyer.
Under what circumstances could that possibly have been legal?
I mean, it's an extended
right there. There's like
Maybe
2
agrees.
travels in one.
Sometimes you have to get a 2-for-1 special. So in honor of this no call, we had to revisit some of those frequent flyer miles that have been earned on the court over the years. This is not the top of the top. This is the very bottom of the bottom. We start with our friend Carmelo Anthony. Yes, you do, because it makes me laugh. This is against the Heat in 2014. We're just doing a little Cupid shuffle.
Gather yourself, Melo.
No, that's the gather.
It's a gather. With the ball at his hand.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
I think it was the chopping of the feet that got him.
And then Corey Brewer the same year.
Wow.
Da, da, da. How many steps? You know what?
Everybody
That's
travels.
not even egregious compared to what else is on this list.
Yeah.
This is the back to the basket no calls. Dirk Nowitzki, this is a little hopscotch we're doing here. That wasn't a pivot. That was a little.
The problem is, the thing is, once you get it in that low post area, the refs are not even. Oh, here we go.
Perk, explain this one to us.
I can't.
There you go.
Explain this one to us.
I got away with it. I think that was like 9 steps.
Didn't you say you didn't want to make this list, Perk?
No, I didn't. I didn't.
Bottom decisiveness. This is back in '97.
Is this Dan Marley?
Yeah, Thunder Dan can't make up his mind on where he wants to go. Just a couple extra steps. Just a few.
You gotta act like you know what you're doing. They ain't gonna call it.
We all remember this.
This was crazy. They let that go. Up
Yes,
fake,
they did.
come down, half a jump.
Travel before and after.
You know what? We got to start looking at
Look at Blake's face.
We got to start looking at the other head coaches, right? The other team head coaches, their reaction.
Bottom awareness, not so aware. This one was actually called, but
Yeah,
we had to
it's
include it because it was so crazy.
Whoa.
It was so ridiculous.
I think Steph's reaction is the funniest.
I mean,
And then he's like,
just
what are you doing?
having a full conversation. It happens. I wonder if anyone will give us a little chuckle here in our Wednesday doubleheader. The Timberwolves and the Knicks at 7:30, and then the Spurs at the Lakers. This is next week. The Countdown Crew, Perk, we're back. We're going to tip off our coverage at 7 o'clock Eastern. Tonight, you get the inside, friends. So while everyone's been focused on the heavyweights in the East, let's look who's quietly crashed the party. Oh, hey, Chicago, undefeated, up-tempo, turning heads early. They have now beaten the Pistons, the Magic, the Hawks. They look to go 4-0 tonight with a win against the Kings. Now, the Bulls, they've scored at least 110 points in each of their first 3 games for just the second time in franchise history. The only other Bulls team to do this had a young Michael Jordan. I'm not saying they're the same. I'm just saying that's the stats. That was in 85-86. Wow. And since we're talking about the Bulls, who better to join us than Josh Giddey? Josh, thank you so much for taking the time. We were actually supposed to do this interview just a little bit earlier, but you had a Halloween costume you needed to go secure. Do I get to know what that is, or is that a secret for Friday?
Look, I don't even know. I picked up like 4 different costumes, so I'm still trying to decide myself. I just wanted to have options, but no, I honestly don't know yet. I got a few to decide from.
Being prepared is good. I'm very excited for my Halloween costume, but it's for the show, so I can't spoil it here. But viewers, make sure to tune in on Friday. Let's talk about the Bulls, not just Halloween, Josh. 3-0. How does it feel?
It's good. It's a good start. I mean, we played 3 really good teams. We beat, obviously to start the season against Detroit at home was a big win. And to go on the road, get that one, and then to get another one back at home, it's a great start. And I think the best part about it is there's so many things that we need to get better at as a team, and things we can get better at. So we've got another tough test tonight with Sacramento coming in. So we're obviously looking to go 4-0, but you want to continue on the things that have worked for you, but you also want to address the things you need to get better at and try and clean those areas up.
You're averaging essentially 19, 9, and 6. What part of your game do you feel like you're making the biggest strides in?
Yeah, I think being a point guard and obviously coming here last year, being traded and, you coming into a new environment. So at the start, I was a little on edge. I wanted to kind of just fit in. I didn't want to step on any toes. But having a year under my belt with the guys and with this team, I feel a lot more confident and comfortable now in my role and what I'm being asked to do. And as a point guard, you have to have a voice and be a leader and be an extension of the head coach on the floor. So I've really tried to take that role on defensive side of the ball. I think me, and us as a team had to get a lot better. And I think we've started, I think we're the number 1 defense in the league right now. So continuing to build off of what has been good early for me and the guys is important. And I think there's a lot of room for growth, which is also, very pleasing.
You bring up the trade, and I think I'm curious from a really human perspective here, Josh. You watched the Oklahoma City Thunder. They won a title last year. What was that like for you? What kind of motivation does it give you?
Yeah, it was a weird feeling because, I was with them a year ago and I was with all the guys, very close with all the guys still. So to see that, it was a weird feeling. Obviously, there's zero bad blood there. So I was very, very happy. If the Bulls didn't win it, I was more than happy for the Thunder to watch those guys win it. Right. They deserved it. The players, the fans, the state, they were the best team all year. So rightfully so, they got it done in the end. But it was a weird feeling watching them play, just being there a year ago and being in that environment. But as I said, super, super happy for the guys. And the city, I know how much they wanted it. So, very happy for them.
Yeah, and now you all are finding this early success, and it's without Kobe White. And we all know what he can provide on the floor. I want us to focus on something a little bit different, something off of the floor. Can you please just clarify, explain the story? You told him about drop bears in Australia?
Yeah. I tell that story to a lot of people. Drop bears are like a fictional bear that Australians tell tourists when they usually come to Australia that it's not a real thing. But I told Kobe, and I sold it pretty well. He believed it for a while.
What did you tell him? What did you say? Explain the story as if it's for the first time.
Well, I basically told him I asked him if he knew what drop bears were, and he said he had no idea. And I said they're little bears. They're kind of like koalas, but they're really violent. And they jump out of trees and they land on top of people's head and they start, clawing and scratching you, which this is all false. But he had no idea, and I really sold the story well, and he believed it.
Did you start telling people you got to watch out for the drop bears down in Australia? I'm not sure if I can take a trip to Australia because of the drop bears.
No, don't worry, they're not there. Australia's a beautiful place.
That's pretty incredible. Sticking in Australia, both of your parents played professional basketball in Australia. So which parent was the tougher one to beat one-on-one growing up?
Oh, good question. I think my mom. My mom was a shooter, so she could shoot the ball, and I had to guard her a little heavy. My dad was not a good shooter, so he was a little easier to guard, but he was physical with me, and they both used to beat on me growing up. But as I got older, I started to give it back to them one-on-one, and started winning. There you go.
Before we let you go here, do you have, top 3 Australian basketball players of all time? Do you have a list there?
Yeah, Andrew Gaze, he's the greatest of all time. He's number 1. It's a good question. I'd say Shane Heal was another one. He had a stint in the NBA, and I'll put Delhi at my third.
All right, I love it. We're adding to the mix. Josh, thank you so much. We always.
Malika, the NBA talked to all parties involved, the Heat, the Trailblazers, other officials, and landed on the decision today to pull both Terry Rozier and Chauncey Billups' salaries. It's essentially, Malika, an unpaid administrative leave. So that's $26.6 million for Terry Rozier and $7 million for Chauncey Billups. Both will not be paid out this season as of now. The one difference between the two, though, my understanding, Terry Rozier's salary will be placed in an escrow. He's going to receive it or not based on the outcome of the FBI charges. Billups' salary, though, is not going to be placed in an escrow. So he's going to lose money. He will not see it per paycheck depending on the outcome and when this outcome will happen. As reported, Terry Rozier and Chauncey Billups' representatives have said and maintained they're both innocent, that they're going to fight the charges. I'm told this process could take at minimum 6 to 12 months.
Okay, so Terry Rozier, his salary will be placed in an escrow pending whatever happens with this case and this investigation. Chauncey Billups, a little bit of a different story here. Shams, thank you so very much for your reporting. You've mentioned how this unfolded over the last, at least publicly, week. So let's just take some stock here. On October 24th, Billups, Rozier, and Damon Jones, they were released on bond with conditions including forfeiting their passports. So what's next, you might ask? Well, on November 24th, that is when Billups will appear in the Eastern District Court in New York. And on December 8th, Rozier will appear in federal court in Brooklyn, New York. So ESPN sports betting reporter David Purdom joins us now. David, Rozier, let's talk about him a little bit, because Shams just reported that he will not be paid while this investigation is ongoing. And yesterday, you reported on some financial issues that may potentially have these allegations be seen in a new light. Can you explain what we're seeing here?
Yeah, so the allegations go back to a March 2023 game where Rozier allegedly participated in this gambling scheme that was centered on his statistics. And he took himself out of a game, and the bettors who placed bets on the under on his statistics all won. That's according to the indictment. Well, 8 months after that game, in November of 2023, the IRS filed an $8.2 million lien against Rozier. The lien stemmed from his 2021 tax filings. Now, his attorney has said that his client only owed around $9,000 from the lien, and that they had settled that debt. But we have not seen any corroborating evidence that that debt has been settled or that the amount was that much less than was listed on the lien from the IRS.
Okay, and now we're at the point, David, where we're beginning to hear and see Congress weighing in. What are they telling Adam Silver?
Yeah, with the two congressional committees, one from the Senate and one from the House, sent letters to the NBA over the last week. They wanted to know what the league's policies were on gambling, how they approach gambling investigations, and more specifically, they wanted to know about the Rozier investigation and why he was still allowed to play. The House committee asked for a briefing with Commissioner Silver. That was supposed to happen this month, but we now think it's going to be maybe next month, maybe all the way into December. Before that happens, the Senate asked for a complete list of all gambling investigations going on in the NBA or that they have conducted, and they ended their letter by saying that these kind of scandals can lead the public to believe that sports are rigged.
David, thank you so much for your reporting here, and we'll certainly continue to check in with you, in particular when that meeting comes to fruition between Adam Silver and Congress. And for more on the NBA side of things, we welcome in our senior writer, Brian Windhorst, our front office insider, Bobby Marks. Bobby, as much as the story is about Rozier and it's about Billups, why is the Miami Heat the piece to pay attention to today?
Yeah, there's a lot of layers to this, Malik. I think the one thing is that we haven't heard the word suspension regarding Terry Rozier. And why that matters is that from the Heat's perspective, if Rozier was suspended, they would have been able to get an extra roster spot. Right now, they have 14 players. They would have been able to add another player. They're only $1.6 million below the luxury tax. They would have gotten financial relief. They would have been able to go below the tax more. Every game he misses, it's $100,000. Malik, I think the most important thing, too, is remember, this was a trade. They acquired Terry Rozier back in January of 2024. They traded Kyle Lowry to get him, and they still owe Charlotte that protected first-round pick in 2027. It's unprotected in 2028. You talk to teams throughout the league, either today and yesterday. The question that comes up when you talk to teams is if the NBA was investigating Rozier, and even if they figured there was no wrongdoing, why wasn't the Miami Heat notified that he was under an investigation here? So we're looking at a triple whammy for Miami when you look at it from financially, from a roster, and certainly that draft pick implications that they still owe Charlotte.
It's actually, Bobby, a quadruple whammy. Those three things that you described, but also the Heat cannot trade Terry Rozier. In this particular situation, I don't believe the league would allow it, and another team would not want to bring him onto their roster. And he, as a $26 million expiring contract, in large part is still on the Heat roster to be used as a potential trade piece. So they've got this hole on their roster that they can't manage whatsoever, and they can't do anything with the salary slot or the roster spot. So Miami, in addition to the outstanding first-round pick that they owe, so Miami is going to have to be careful in how they proceed here because they are outside any established norms. But as you can imagine, the Heat feel pretty aggrieved beyond just the fact that one of their players has been arrested.
Right, and we expect to be hearing from the union on this matter here in the coming hours or even days, and we'll certainly keep you updated as we hear that. Bobby, thank you so much for your insight here. This story has certainly dominated the news throughout the past week.